Good morning, student. Today we're going to continue with the chapter Money and Credit, and our topic of discussion will be on other credit arrangements, citing some example. In the first case, suppose a small farmer who is borrowing money from an agricultural trader. So that is the first credit arrangement we're going to learn. We'll learn about the various credit arrangement other than the bank which provide the facility. So a small farmer who want some money, so that farmer will going to borrow that money from an agricultural trader. So the rate of interest is 36 per annum for that. The trader supplies farm implements like seeds and fertilizers. In addition to the interest and capital, the farmer has to sell his crop only to the trader from whom he has borrowed money. The farmer has to accept the price offered by the trader. So according to the price offered by the trader, he has to sell his product. The trader not only gets the interest for his loan, but also earns a huge profit from selling the crop at a very high price. So the profit is gained by the trader only, and the farmer have to bear a huge rate of interest on the loan, have to pay the interest as well as the price which is fixed by the trader. He has to sell his product. So that is the first example of a credit arrangement which is from informal source. He is borrowing credit. The second example is when a farmer borrows money from a bank. That is a formal source of credit. In that case, the rate of interest will be 8.5%. See, very less rate of interest. Whereas in the first case, 36% rate of interest. The loan can be repaid any time in the next 3 years. There is no compulsion that in a few days you have to pay up the loan. The farmer plans to repay the loan after harvest by selling a part of the crop. The farmer will then store the rest of the potatoes in a cold storage and sell it when the price is high. The farmer can apply for a fresh loan from the bank against the cold storage receipts. The bank offers this facility also. So in the second situation, as farmer is taking loan from formal source of credit which is providing less interest rate for farmer, which is profitable for farmer, and he can pay back the loan within any time in the next 3 years. In the third situation, when an agricultural laborer borrows money from her employer to meet the expense for certain illness in the family, the rate of interest is too high, that is 60% per annum, and the laborer has to repay her loan by working for the employer. The employer does not treat the laborer well, and employers are the only source of credit for the landless agricultural laborers. So, while reading the three situations, the first situation is the best source of credit. But sometimes small farmer or those landless agricultural laborers cannot have that position to borrow always from the bank. So this is one drawback or shortcoming that a bank sometimes provides a good opportunities, whether informal sources of credit does not offer the good opportunity for borrowing. Now the working of cooperatives and people take loans from cooperatives. How the cooperative works. Beside bank, the other major source of credit in rural area is a cooperative society. Members of a cooperative pool their resources for cooperation in certain areas. There are several types of cooperatives that operate in rural areas, such as farmer cooperatives, weaver cooperatives, industrial workers cooperatives, example Krishak cooperative, that function in a village area, and it has many members also. So the cooperative accepts deposit from its members. Using those deposits as collateral, the cooperative obtain a large loan from the bank. The loan amount received from the bank is used as fund to provide loan to the members. Once the member repay the loan, the amount is repaid on the bank and a fresh loan is taken away from the bank. The cooperatives provide loan to its members for the purchase of agricultural implements, loan for cultivation and agricultural trade, fishery loans, and many other for the construction of houses or a variety of other expenses. A person can take loan from a cooperative. So cooperative is another sources of credit in the rural area. Now there are self-help group or SHG. In recent years, people have tried out some newer ways of providing loan to the poor. The idea is to organize rural poor, in particularly women, into creating self-help group and pool their savings. A typical self-help group has 15 to 20 members, usually belonging to one neighborhood, who meet and save regularly. Saving per member varies from rupees 25 to rupees 100 or more. So they save individually, they pool their resources, and members can take small loans from that group itself to meet their needs. The group charges interest on those loans, but still is less than what the moneylender charges. After a year or two, if the group is regular in saving, it becomes eligible for availing loan from the bank. So loan is sanctioned in the name of the group and is meant to create self-employment opportunities for the member also. The self-help group help borrowers overcome the problem of lack of collateral. Sometimes small farmers or those agricultural laborers cannot take loan directly from the bank because they do not have collateral. So in this case, self-help group help borrowers to overcome the problem of lack of collateral. They can get timely loans, and self-help groups are the building block of organization of the rural area. Now, Grameen Bank of Bangladesh, there is a case study in your book. So, Grameen Bank of Bangladesh is one of the biggest success story in reaching the poor to meet their credit needs at reasonable rate. Started in the 1970s as a small project, now has over 6 million borrowers in about 40,000 villages spread across Bangladesh. Almost all of the borrowers are women and belong to poorest section of the society. These borrowers have proved that not only are poor women reliable borrowers, but they can start and run a variety of small income generating activities successfully. Professor Yunus was the founder of Grameen Bank and recipient of 2006 Nobel Prize for Peace. Now we'll read about the situation of debt trap, how the poor in rural area falls in a debt trap. Debt trap is actually a situation in which a person takes a loan and due to unavoidable circumstances, he or she cannot repay the loan back within a stipulated time period. Now faces a difficult situation, has to come a tough situation, either he has to borrow a fresh loan or sell some property or repay the loan back. So he falls in the debt trap, he or she. Now there are certain cheat funds also that operate, that gives loan. Cheat fund means a fund set up for collection of small saving of the people who earn on daily basis, like panwala, chaiwala, rickshawala, like that. These people can save rupees 10 and rupees 100 on daily basis and deposit in the fund. The money collected is invested in the share or debentures of the companies or in the government bonds. The return earned on this investment is paid back to the investor after deducting the administrative charges of managing the fund. So this is the various credit situation which operates in rural area. Now there are plastic monies like debit and credit cards. They are called the plastic monies that operate. Okay. So these are the discussion that we have done, and we have completed the chapter of money and credit. I will provide you some question answer, very short answer type. Question answer will be given to you by WhatsApp app. Thanking you, student.